Hi guys, I'm filming my current go-to makeup. So this is the makeup look that I always wear and I always post on Instagram. So hope you enjoy. Now I'm gonna put my eye cream first. Next, I'll moisturize my face. I always switch up my moisturizer, so now I'll just use the MAC Fix Plus. Just let it dry for a while. While waiting for it, you can actually use a lip balm to prep your lips. Because there's excess Fix Plus, right? So you can just dab a bit. Okay, so now I'll prime my face. I'm using the L'Oreal base magique. Just this much. You have to rub it in first to warm the product. And then I focus it on the center of my face. And rub it into your pores. Okay, so now you're ready for your foundation. Currently, on an everyday basis, I will mix my YSL BB cream and also my MAC prolongwear foundation. I'll just put it on my finger. Like that, and then I'll mix it up. The reason why I do this is because the YSL is very smooth and my prolongwear is a thicker foundation, thicker consistency. So if I mix it up, I will get the perfect consistency. Okay, so for my brush, if I'm running late, usually I'll just rub it in my face, but with my fingers. But if I have the time, then I'll switch up all my foundation brushes. So for now, I'm using the Sigma Angled Kabuki F84. This is actually quite fast. So I'll usually start on my nose and then my chin. I usually run it a little bit around my lips so that when I apply my lip liner, there won't be like a harsh line between my skin and my lips. Your chin. I won't put foundation under my eyes. I will keep it for concealer. If I'm not using concealer, then I will put foundation there. Okay, so it's done. Okay, next I'll use my concealer. So for concealer, If I'm looking for long wearing concealer, like I don't want it to budge the whole day, I will use the MAC prolongwear concealer. If not, then I'll just use any other concealer like Revlon Age Defying. This is good also, and it's brightening. Okay, so I'll just put like in the inner part of my under eye. I don't use much because I find that the more you use, the more it will crease throughout the day. And then just pat it in and into the inner corner as well. Okay, so now we just have to set everything. So I'm using the L'Oreal Mercier translucent powder, translucent setting powder. For this, for my under eye, I will use the tapered kabuki F86 from Sigma. Just pat it in. Then for my whole face, I will use the Sigma Large F30 powder brush. This is from the Mrs. Bunny collection. Okay, so next, I will either finish off my face or I will move on to my eyes. So I think today I will just finish off my face. I'll just use to contour. I will use the MAC bronzing powder. This is in bronze. Sometimes I will use this, sometimes I will use the MAC mineralize skin finish in medium deep. Around and then tap off the excess. So for this, I'll just make the fishy face and focus it right here. Then the other side. And then a little bit under your jaw. Okay, then I'm taking a smaller brush. It's a blending brush. It's a crease brush from Zoeva 228. So this is perfect for your nose. See the size? So I'm taking it, I'm swirling again in the bronzing powder, and I'll just do the side of my nose slightly. Once you blend it in, actually it's not even visible. Like people won't know that you actually contour your nose. Okay, so you have to blend it in because if not, it's just a harsh line. Okay, next is, you can do this also. I don't do it all the time, but I do it sometimes if I really want it. Under your lips is to make your lips look pouty if you need it. Okay, so I'm done. Okay, so next I'm doing my brows. So for brows, if I'm in a rush, I will just use a brow gel, a MAC brow gel, or the Benefit Gimme Brow, I think. Yeah, but if I'm not in a rush, if I'm going out, then I'll use the brow bar to go, because this is slightly more defined. I'll take the wax side of it, and just apply it with my finger. This is to just like press down my brow, because my brow hairs are always like everywhere, flying everywhere. Okay, so for blush, I actually switch my blushes because I have a few. So I will either use the MAC Melba, which is a pinkish blush, pinkish coralish blush is great everyday color, or the MAC Warm Soul. This one has a slight sheen. So if I want both, like I don't just want the sheen, I want a pinkier cheek, I'll just mix both. So I think for today I'll just use the Melba with my Sigma Angled Contour F40. Okay, so I'll just apply right on top of the contour. Apply more on camera, it doesn't look that obvious. But actually in real life, it's quite obvious already. Okay, so that's the blush done. So after blush, I will highlight my face. So I'm in love with highlighting my face right now. So I'm using the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in Lightscapade. I used to use the Soft and Gentle. This is Soft and Gentle. It's slightly more champagne, but it's very shimmery. So if you're using it on an everyday basis, I think it's a little bit too much. So with this, I'm using my foundation brush, F60, because this highlighter is not so obvious, so it's fine to use it with a foundation brush. If not, I'll always use it with a dual fiber brush, like with a light hair, like this. For Soft and Gentle, I'll use this. So just tap and then put it on the highest point of your cheek, which is here and here. Okay. Then the other two places I'll put is on the nose bridge. I'll put it here, and on your cupid's bow. For my nose, I don't really like to put it on my whole nose because usually I'll tend to get oily here, so I'll just put it here to just highlight the face. Okay, then I'm taking the darker shade from the brow bar to go with my angled brush. This is the MAC 266 brush. It's the perfect size for it. Okay, so I'll put to my angle first, my brow angle to the end. I basically just follow the shape of my brow. I don't really change it. Okay, then the remaining of it I'll just put to the front, because I don't want the front of my brows to be so harsh, since my brows is already so bold. I just brush it through. Okay, so then I would like to brush it through with either I'll use the brow gel, or I'll just use the disposable mascara wand and just brush it through. Okay, next. Now for priming the lids, Currently I'm using the MAC prolongwear paint pot. Last time I used to use the Urban Decay Eden eye primer. This is good also. It's very thick. It will take time to work. You will take time to learn how to use this because this is very easy. You can just take and just apply, you will see it. But this one, you have to work very fast and you have to take the tiniest amount. If you don't, then you will end up with like a cakey eyelid. So I'll just take it on my finger and apply it directly on my lids. So I like to do this because is to provide a base for my eyeshadow, because usually eyeshadow don't appear so vibrant on my eyelids and it tends to crease throughout the day. So if you can see, it's now a brighter color. So whatever colors I apply on top of it, it will be very nice. I don't need much at all. You can also apply under your eyes, like on your lower lash line. Now I can move on to my eyeshadow. So for my current favorite, I'm actually using the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette, the one that smells like chocolate. So every time you're using it, it actually feels like you're eating chocolate. Okay, so I'm using the white chocolate shade. I have all the names of the shades here. When you buy it, they actually have the plastic cover on top and they don't have the individual names, so I like to keep this. So the white chocolate shade, I'll take it on the MAC 217 brush. This is actually a blending brush, but I like to use it as a eyebrow highlight. Yeah. So I'll just put it on top. So what I like to do for my eyeshadow is actually I'll just swirl it in and then I will tap it off. Because if not, it will be too much on the eyes. Okay. And then I'm taking a transition color. This is to blend the eyelid shade with your eyebrow, with your brow bone. So I'm using the Salted Caramel shade. Just tap it in and tap off the excess again. And then just place it on the crease, slightly above the crease because my crease is here, so slightly above, and just blend it in. Like, you don't have to be precise with this, you can just keep blending. See? Okay, then for the other eye, if you're not satisfied with it, then you can go back and put some more. If you're using a darker color on your lids, then you will need to build up quite a bit. If you're using a lighter color, then you don't need to. Okay. Okay, next. Sometimes I will deepen up the crease. So if I want to deepen the crease, then I'll just use a smaller brush. This is the Sigma Performance E36 blending brush. It's perfect for inner crease work. So I'll take a cooler brown shade like this. This is either a milk chocolate or semi-sweet. So sometimes I'll just mix both and then put it right in the crease. But I don't blend it like all the way in, not like just now. And then I'll go back with that blending brush and just blend everything back. I tend to blend a lot because I don't like I don't like people to know that I have so many shades. Okay, so for my lid color, I switch my lid color all the time. So if I'm using this palette, then I'll use the hazelnut, either hazelnut or hot chocolate. Depends on whether I want to go darker on that day or just a simple one. So usually I'll just go for hazelnut because it's a nice shimmery brown color. I'm taking it on a eye shading E55 brush by Sigma. Usually I will use the MAC 237 because that is the perfect brush. Like it's not too dense. This is very dense. Okay, so I'll apply it directly on my lid. This eyeshadow is very pigmented, so usually I will only need to go. I will only need to do it once, like it's there already. Some eyeshadow you have to do it twice, depending on what you like. Okay, so it's there. Then I'll just take the blending brush again and blend the edges. For my under eye, I like to go for a darker color. I will take a semi-sweet from the same palette and go under my eye, right on the lash line, lower lash line, and then the other one. And I'll just use my finger to blend it in. Okay, so I like to highlight on my inner corner. So I'll use a very small brush. You can also use your finger. Sometimes I'll use my finger. This is the inner corner E46 from Sigma. It's all from the performance kit. Okay, so I'll take the champagne truffle shade, which is a highlight shade, and put it in my inner corner on both eyes. And then I'll use my fingers to blend it in. Okay, once that's done, it's up to you whether you want to use an eyeliner or not, as in either a gel liner or a liquid liner. On an everyday basis, I don't do liquid liner because I think this shades is flattering enough. So I'll just line my waterline and my tight line. So for that, I'm using the YSL waterproof eye pencil. So it's just a small eye pencil. Um, I like this currently because it's so waterproof that it doesn't move. Some eyeliners they will put that is waterproof, but then I tear so much that it actually still moves. So for this, sometimes it's quite scary. So I just put up my lid and just line my tight line. Just makes it look darker and thicker. Okay, and my waterline. If you don't want a harsh line, then you can use a brown eyeliner, eye pencil. Okay, so again, I'll just use my finger to blend it with the eyeshadow. Just make sure you clean your finger all the time, like you just wipe your fingers. If not, you'll have liner everywhere. Yeah, so for mascara, I'm using the YSL um, volume Fox Seals, I think. So this is the thickening mascara. I really like the wand. And it really makes my eyelashes look super thick. Like, look at the difference. Okay. So lastly will be my lips. So since I apply my lip balm just now, sometimes it's a little bit too much. So if I apply my lipstick or my lip liner, it will tend to not glide on nicely. So just dab on a tissue. Then I'm taking my retractable lip liner by NYX. This is in nude pink. It's waterproof and it will really last a long time for a cheap product like this. Okay, so I just line my lips. I like to start on my lower lip. And fill in my whole lips. Okay, then the upper lip. Okay. So you have a nice nude pink base. Next, I'm using my lipstick. So for lipsticks, you can use any lipsticks for this eye look because it's really versatile. So you can use a bold lip, red, maroon, berry lips, or you can just use nude lips. So for me, my current favorite is actually the YSL Rouge Volupte in number 3. This is the one. So it's this shade. So you can find this shade in basically any other brands, cheaper brands. There's also this shade. Just apply straight. It's a nice everyday color. Alright. Okay, so lastly, I always finish off with a setting spray because my makeup tends to fade throughout the day due to our weather also. It's very hot. Okay, so this is the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. If you have oily skin, then you can use this. If you have dry skin, then you can use the moisturizing one. Yeah, it will look more dewy. You can also use the MAC Fix Plus if you have dry skin. Okay, so just spritz like in an X and T formation. And you're done. So just wait for it to dry. Don't try not to touch anything. Then it will just set your makeup. So this is the current look that I always go for. Thank you for watching.